To pass your bar exam, you will need to memorize a ton of information, and you will need to do so in the limited amount of time you have before the date of your exam. As a result, you'll need an efficient study strategy, one which gets you a passing score while minimizing your study time. In this video, I'm going to tell you about the strategy I developed to study for the Illinois bar exam, because I think that strategy can be usefully applied to studying for almost every bar exam. My study strategy essentially had two components. First, master the multi-state bar exam, the MBE. Second, almost ignore the rest of the exam, the non-MBE portions of the Illinois bar exam. To understand this study strategy, you need to understand some things about Illinois' bar exam. The exam has 400 total points, and a score of at least 266 points is required to pass the exam. The MBE accounts for 200 of the exam's 400 total points, and the remaining 200 points are split between the multi-state essay exam, the MEE, the Illinois essay exam, the IEE, and the multi-state performance test, the MPT. These observations alone show that it is possible to pass the exam by getting 80% of the MBE's points and only 53% of the other available points. Of course, the mere possibility that one could pass the exam with such a performance hardly demonstrates the advisability or efficiency of aiming for such a performance. But I chose to aim for exactly this type of performance when studying for Illinois' bar exam. And when you combine this sort of score analysis together with an analysis of what each section of the exam tests, you can see why this type of performance is probably the most easily obtained, and why mastering the MBE and almost ignoring the rest of the exam is probably the most efficient way to obtain such a performance. Let's begin by looking at the MPT. During the MPT, test takers are provided a series of documents containing legal and factual information. They are asked to synthesize this information, and only this information, to produce a new written document. In other words, if you know how to read and write the relevant types of legal documents, you can do decently on this section of the exam without studying for it at all, and without memorizing any substantive law. So, for example, getting 22 of the MPT's 40 points shouldn't be much of a problem. Next, let's look at the MBE. It consists of 200 multiple-choice questions which test your knowledge of 7 different legal subjects. You must know a lot about each of these 7 subjects to do well on the MBE, and learning all this information will be time-consuming. However, if you aim to master the MBE, and if you put in the time and effort to do so, you should be able to get 80% on your actual MBE. After all, it is possible to get 80% while still missing 1 out of every 5 questions. Finally, and very importantly, there are thousands of official MBE questions from past exams which have been released. You can use these to very accurately gauge how well you'll do on test day. Now let's turn to the MEE. The MEE tests your knowledge of all 7 of the legal subjects which the MBE tests. However, it also tests your knowledge of about 5 additional subjects, and you have to demonstrate your knowledge of all 12 subjects using written essays. Since the MEE tests mostly the exact same information as the MBE, you should be able to get at least 53% of the MEE's available points if you have mastered the MBE, assuming you have good legal reading and writing skills. But you should probably learn the basics of the non-MBE subjects which are frequently tested on the MEE. If you do that, you'll probably be able to get around 60% or 75% of the MEE's total points. Finally, there's the IEE. The IEE is nearly identical to the MEE, except it has about half as many questions and it covers about 6 additional subjects. If you were to focus exclusively on mastering the MBE, the IEE would probably be the most difficult section for you, and you might not be able to reliably get 53% of its points. This is why I suggest putting a small effort into learning the basics of frequently tested MEE subjects. Not only will doing so boost your MEE score, compensating for any IEE deficiencies, but also Since the IEE overlaps the MEE substantially, learning the basics about these MEE subjects will likely stabilize your IEE score. So, to summarize, the MBE is simultaneously the most heavily weighted section of the exam, and also the section of the exam which tests the fewest number of legal subject areas, other than the MPT. In addition, the MBE's subject matter is retested by both the other significant exam sections. Finally, on top of all this, your MBE performance can be continually and accurately tracked during your preparation using the thousands of real MBE questions which have been released. Because all of these considerations apply to most other bar exams, MBE preparation should almost certainly be your priority. The remaining videos in this free video series can help you master the MBE. If you'd like assistance studying subjects which will appear on your bar exam, or if you'd like help developing a study strategy tailored to your exam and your circumstances, text Law School Guru now to schedule your free bar exam consultation. Otherwise, just keep watching and good luck on your bar exam.